Suns fans, you know what time it is in the PHX.
Empire of the Suns.
Phoenix Suns.
The Empire of the Suns podcast is brought to you by Sonic. Drive to your nearest Sonic location and try their new Choose Any Two for $7 deal for a limited time only.
Empire of the Suns.
Hello there, and welcome to the Empire of the Suns podcast. My name is Kellen Olson, joined as always by Kevin Zimmerman. See, I did it to my name instead of your name.
It seemed like you were questioning your own name, yeah.
Getting it all loose. What's up, buddy?
Not much. We're rounding the corner. We're heading... Oh, wait, no, I can't do D-backs metaphors right now. They wouldn't know about rounding that corner at this moment. But
save that for the end of the podcast. Everyone who works for those teams isn't listening to that podcast anymore. Now all the Cardinals people listening are like, what have they been saying at the end of all these podcasts?
Kyler's back.
Don't go listen. Yeah, Kyler's back, everyone. Woo!
Look at that positivity. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
Go Birds, the red ones. All right, preseason basketball. The Suns are going to play. We are recording on Wednesday morning. It's a Wednesday today, right? I have no idea.
Yeah, it is.
They play their preseason finale tomorrow in Palm Springs against
Palm
the
Desert.
Los Angeles
Is that different? I actually don't know.
I don't know, man. We went over this before. I don't know all these fancy California towns, but it's one of them. And they're playing there. I am guessing, this is purely a guess, and we might find out by the end of practice today. We're recording this before practice, that the big three are done for the preseason, and it's just going to be essentially what Portland did on Monday, which is all of our key veterans are going to sit, and we're going to give Bol Bol 27 minutes. We are going to give Saban Lee 36 minutes. Like, they're going to do some iteration of that. I might be wrong, but I expect that's what we're going to see just based on how those guys were particularly getting after it on Monday. That really, on the court, read to me and looked to me like this is our last time on this court before the real stuff starts, so let's get going. So the preseason is not unofficially done, but I will say if you're looking for takeaways, just thoughts on some of the guys outside of the big three, we did that a long time on the previous podcast. I don't think our thoughts are going to change.
No.
Forgive me if Nasir Little has a huge 19-point game and looks awesome and looks like the Nasir Little that we saw in Portland for the most part when he was healthy. But for now, we are just going to kind of look ahead. I believe we're looking to come back on Monday and just look at the Warriors matchup specifically, look at, okay, what are we going to watch for in the first couple of games, all this kind of stuff. But we can put a bow on the preseason by saying the offense has looked awesome. I think that it's looked tremendous. Monday, again, was against Duop Reith, who was on the Suns Summer League team either this year or the year before, was starting at center for the Blazers, so keep that in mind. But specifically with movement, tempo, pace, how they're finding each other, they're overpassing too much, which is obviously a good problem to have. But everyone seems to be really buying into this, and Grayson Allen was talking after practice yesterday, and he was giddy talking about it. And then he got asked by Gerald from PHNX about the differences between this team and last year's team that he was on in Milwaukee, and he wisely caught himself and was like, I'm not going to say one's better, one's worse, but you could tell with the way that he was saying it, just playing this way, playing fast, loose. Everyone that is getting the ball knows what to do with it, and there's just the ball doesn't stop, and that's my main takeaway. And I think that I'm ready to be preseason overreacts guy. I'm ready to say this is going to be the best offense in the league. I said that with respect to Sacramento and Denver for what they've done. Yeah. I know personnel-wise that the Suns, in terms of their big three, no one can match them in terms of scoring talent. But overall with the team, stylistically, how they're playing, how the rotations have looked, how guys like Grayson Allen and Eric Gordon have looked, I'm ready to say it. Even with some injuries for these guys along the way, I think that they are going to be the best offensive team in the league. And with the way that offensive ratings continue to climb, probably post the best offensive rating the league's seen so far.
If that is the case, and you're right, or if even you're their top three, I could see
if they're not top five, something went wrong.
Yeah, I could see though two teams having the top two offensive ratings in NBA history this year, if that makes sense. I don't think Sacramento's going to get. Has Sacramento lost anything significant? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Denver Denver's a little touchy. We'll get into them later. Like, their offense is still going to be good. I would say Sacramento's the one that I would say is the scary one for me.
Big on Bezenkov like I am, I see.
They have depth, like, yeah.
No, they're going to be. We'll get to that in a bit. We're going to do a league-wide preview here in a minute, but...
So, I'll stop there so I don't talk about these other teams, but I will say the red flags only get to me when it's like, okay, like, Saban Lee was over-dribbling, but that's... Like, you're trying to find out what Saban Lee can do. Those minutes, it didn't look tough. But if you have two of the big three on most of the year, you have the three starting, even if one of them, all of them get hurt here and there, like, it's just about averages and how many minutes, like, one of those guys is playing where they're kind of scrapping and clawing. But other teams can't put out, like, the two stars with that shooting around them, I don't think, when I think about it. So that's how you get full offensive ratings, right? I'm not thinking about the starting lineup. I'm thinking about, like, full rotations for a season, and that's where I think you're on the right track, and you're not crazy to say that, even though this team is still pretty relatively new.
If they run anywhere close to the way that they want to, it's not going to be close, because off a make or a miss, the way Allen outlined it yesterday is whoever's closest to the basket is, like, just the outlet guy.
Yeah.
There's not even a Chris Paul or whatever, and it's not like Chris took every outlet and felt like, I need to take every outlet. I'm the point guard. It wasn't like that. He would run up the corner, sure, but he's like, okay, fill the lanes, get to the corners, and then let everyone else kind of fill it out and just see where it goes from there. But the discipline with their... I don't want to be too technical about, like, run into this space. It's very simple, but the positional discipline for them in transition offense has been amazing. Like, they're running out and they're making it look so simple. Like, why doesn't every basketball team play like this? They keep getting they're going to have so many free baskets this year because Grayson Allen was I pointed out the Alec Burks one against Detroit, but Grayson Allen in Monday's game caught the ball just about at half court, took a dribble, sprinting straight ahead, and just saw Toumani Camara 8 feet from the rim, and it was like, I'm just going to drive right into you. And he did his footwork stuff, got an easy and one finish that he can get in his sleep. And there's just going to be so many plays like that because those guys catching the outlets, you think about it, and we kind of go through the rotation. Josh Okogie can make that drive. He can make that decision. Yuta can. Eric Gordon can. Grayson Allen can. Even if it's Yusuf Nurkic catching that ball, he can make he can take 2 or 3 dribbles and then figure it out from there. Maybe he just holds it up at the top of the key or dribbles into someone for a dribble handoff. He's not going to dribble all the way to the lane.
But if the defense is scrambling back, he has the ability to see it or at least keep forcing the issue. And if they're
containing on that, he can hit a trailer 3. Eubanks, I think, is the same kind of player where you guys are going to be surprised. Look, it doesn't look like Rafer Alston dribbling by any means, don't get me wrong, but he can dribble the ball a couple of times and make the right decision, and everyone in the rotation can do that. And I think I'm starting to realize more and more, if indeed the rotations that we've been sort of seeing more offense heavy are true, I think it's more to do with not playing the best shooters, but it's just with playing the best decision makers and the most I can make this play in any given moment guys, and that's where Yuta fits in, that's where Gordon fits in, and Allen fits in, and they're all like 40% three-point shooters too. It just so happens to be that.
I'm going to tap back into our what draft was that discussion about Lonzo Ball. I know he's hurt, whatever, but if you put like a Lonzo Ball type like on this team, that's where it'd be like mind blowing with his kick ahead ability and
even
his passing. Or Kevin Love,
off the bench,
that kind of stuff. Like, obviously they don't have anyone. We might find out if Nurk is going to be throwing overhead like touchdown deep balls type things off rebounds.
In Portland already,
that kind of stuff. Like, maybe it's not the most magical thing, but just having that presence and kicking ahead and straining the defense. And then, like, if it's one of the big 3 or even one of the shooters, like the shooters are going to shoot. But if Kevin Durant catches and he's just making the effort and you find and push the ball ahead, again, it's kind of like the same discussion. You want those guys against moving defenses, and it's just going to be really easy for them to score out of those situations. So I like that they've brought in that mentality. And it's honestly kind of surprising. I guess I don't really know Frank Vogel's Magic teams very well at all if they did this. But it's going to be an interesting balance to say do that, but also play defense, because I think that is just from a physical, mental capacity challenging to be playing like hard-nosed defense and then getting out and running. But obviously it's a buy-in thing, it's a cultural thing they got to set, and we'll see how like consistent and strong they are at it. And that's where depth matters too. Like you do need to rotate bodies to some degree to play that style of basketball if you're doing these two very different brands, or you want to have the defensive identity, you want to play fast on offense. But again, it's a lot of work to play one-on-one basketball if you're Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And if you're not doing that much, then it actually is easier to run on teams. It's easier to run and make easy decisions instead of playing one-on-one basketball. So I think there's room for it to clash a little bit, but also there are reasons to believe that this can really be this team's identity, which is asking a lot out of everyone, I guess.
I do think it's going to be an acclimation period, and that's where I do wonder if this is going to be more of a team that threatens for 60 wins or more of a team that's around like 48 to 53. I don't know.
Yeah.
But however long it takes, and I've said this line multiple times, but if they're cruising by January, the whole league is really in trouble. But if it takes up until February, March for not only the big three to click, but the rotations to click, who is the fifth starter, all that kind of stuff goes through. We'll see. But it's not like I'm more optimistic about the offense after seeing it, but again, I talked so much about just wanting to see it, and now that I've seen it, especially with the pace emphasis, it's pretty amazing to watch. And then there's like little small developments, like I'm watching that Portland game and I was like, why is this guy shooting so many pull-up threes? Like, what's his deal? Booker was just I haven't been able to watch the third game yet over again. Yeah, I'm doing that stuff.
Preseason.
All 10 threes that he took in the first two games were pull-ups. And he played, 27 total minutes or whatever, 30 total minutes. So you can do the math there in terms of the per 36. This is a second straight podcast where I'm not going to do per 36 math live on the air.
Yeah.
I apologize. But Vogel said it wasn't just a coincidence thing, and Vogel said he has been emphasizing it to Booker. It's funny because a story that I should have live before the season starts, I'm hoping it goes live on Monday, is going to be looking back at that Lakers series, and something Book mentioned when I talked to him about it was how they were forcing him to take pull-up threes. And look who it was. It was Frank Vogel forcing him to take pull-up threes. What did he do in Game 6, Kevin? Hit a lot of threes.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that come together. Vogel described it as like an ultra green light, extra green light, whatever. He wants him to shoot those, and then just wasn't even brought up in this kind of way to Kevin Durant. He was just talking about the big three in the offense, and he was like, if Book comes down and they're in a drop, I want him to shoot. Like,
Kevin always shoots that shot. You don't have to worry about him. That's his shot, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like, he modernized that shot almost, and kind of in a way, right? At his size, at least. So there are little kind of developments like that. We'll see. It's like, okay, how is Bradley going to find his little pockets, I think, because he is the Chris Bosh of the team. He just kind of has to be. But he's going to be his own version of Chris. He's not going to be the extremely defensively versatile guy, playmaking five that Chris Bosh was. But he will figure out that kind of role. And again, the level of competition was really low, but there was like that 4-minute sequence of the Blazers game where I think he was on the court either by himself or with Book, and he just took over for 4 minutes. It's Bradley Beal, and he's the third best player. Holy fifth starter.
Mm-hmm.
Intrigue continues, Kevin. They open... Oh, you're not believing it. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Josh Okogie starts the first game. We kind of... Okay, it looks like it's Josh Okogie. Is it going to be Josh Okogie the whole year? I don't know. Eric Gordon gets to start. That is, I believe, the Portland game on the road when Josh Okogie was not playing. He was resting, I believe. Something to that extent. Grayson Allen starts on Monday when Josh Okogie is healthy. Eric Gordon was not and healthy or whatever. He was not resting. So Vogel's been mixing and matching, looking around, and he has continued to say that this is going to be something that we change. We're going to not look at someone as the guy the whole year. We are going to try different looks. We're going to go through it. That's probably how it's going to go. Do you believe him?
Yeah.
I do too, to be clear.
I just don't know what that means, if that's okay by matchup or if it's going to be in, okay, this 10-game set, we're just going to see. So, because I think there's more value in that if it's like, okay, Josh, like, you played well enough in the preseason, not that Grayson played poorly, Eric played poorly, but you get first 10 games, you're going to match up against Steph. You're going to match up against...
Yeah, we just
like, you just see different... You see different styles, and you see them against different people instead of being like, oh, you're only going to guard this X stereotype.
We played Memphis and Miami, so Memphis without Jaw, so we didn't really need that point guards shut down, but now we've got Milwaukee, Golden State, and... Denver coming up, and now we need Josh in. Like, are they going to do it matchup dependent? That's the thing. That's why I asked. I don't know how it's going to go. Is it stylistically matchup based? I think
it's also like a good thing for like getting in a rhythm. If it's like, okay, Okogie's for 10 games, then offensively you just get, okay, what are you going to do? What is this going to look like? How are teams going to... And also, like, him starting the season as the fifth guy, I think teams already know what he does, so it would... To me, it would at least just give you a clear scouting report, and then you can kind of tinker as you go, and start at that baseline where it's like, okay, teams know how to scout Josh Okogie, right? I think there's value in going against that to cause yourself to kind of find problems, seek answers early on, and then mid-season when you go to Grayson Allen or you go to Eric Gordon, then, oh, crap, the other teams are going to have to figure out when you just spring it on them one day what to do. And that, honestly, that change could mess with, like, that could give you a free win or two here or there, which, again, you're going to take losses here or there because you're experimenting. So you might as well strategically make those decisions and screw with people. I'm all for people screwing with other people in the competitive sense like that. So I would say, yeah, you kind of map it out. Maybe 10 or 11 games, depending on the next matchup. If it's a really good team you want to mess with, or you want to hide stuff from them, maybe give him 1 or 2 extra starts and then go to the next guy. So I think there's a lot of reasons to just mix and match, but not do it like by game, if that makes sense.
To that extent, you've got Golden State at the opener. I'll be fascinated if Grayson Allen or Eric Gordon starts the first game. Yeah. That is the who's guarding Steph Curry thing. But then the Lakers coming up where it's D'Lo and Austin Reeves who are offensive threats for sure, but are not like we absolutely need to shut that guy down. It's about LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Yeah. So maybe you want more length on the rotations when you're doubling on AD with someone like Keita Bates-Diop, I don't know, or Josh. I don't know. Let's look across the league, buddy. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
We will start with the Suns' spin on this. We have this conversation a couple of different ways, and we've had it for 3 years now in this type of week. So let me start here. We put on this facade, Kevin. I'll call it for what it is.
We do?
We put on this big old thing where we're like, yeah, man, 11 teams could win the West this year. It could be anyone, man.
No.
There are 17 teams that
I felt that way
this year.
Last year I did.
I actually felt that way last year, and I'm kind of making fun of myself partially because we did have these conversations. People can pull them up and burn us or whatever they want to do. But people love the, haha, you're wrong thing. You were wrong. Look at you. You said dumb thing, person to say things. But this year I wanted to bring it up with what we're talking about now because I still do believe that to be true. Like, will I be shocked if the Oklahoma City Thunder win the West? Yes. I will be absolutely full mixed, but I don't know if Chet's an all-star right away. I don't know, man. I don't know. If Zion is fully functional and it turns out that him, CJ, and Brandon Ingram are awesome together, then I don't know, man. Yeah. But those are the best case scenarios that will not happen. So let me go team by team, and you tell me if they can win the title or not. You ready?
Yeah.
This is by the odds on FanDuel right now. Celtics.
Yeah.
Bucks.
Yeah.
Nuggets.
Yeah.
Suns.
Yeah.
Lakers.
That's where I'm already...
I'm a yes.
Okay.
Or no, wait. Never mind. I'm a no. I forgot LeBron hasn't looked healthy.
Apparently, he looks like his rookie season.
Whatever.
What if he does? Does Anthony Davis look like his rookie?
We're going Lakers-Warriors now, and it's 2 straight teams where LeBron James look healthy in the playoffs, then I would say yes. If you could tell me that LeBron James is going to look like even just regular season LeBron from a health standpoint, then yes, but it's been... It's not like LeBron has had... It's kind of like Book's injuries in the last 3 postseasons now, where it hasn't been a headline grabbing, like, he's injured, but the people watching those games and who have watched LeBron James play basketball for a long time, even like people like us, have been like, you're not getting downhill like you used to, man. That's not age, because we saw you 2 months ago doing this. And he just has picked up these things a couple of years running now. You'll remember when we previewed that Lakers-Suns series that we just referenced with Vogel, one of our key storylines going in is like, is LeBron going to be able to get downhill? Because it just looks like he's not himself right now.
Yeah.
And we've seen that now for a couple of years in a row, if I'm remembering correctly. And then we know the Chris Paul story there. So I am going to say no, because I don't believe they can win the title if those guys aren't themselves. I don't think the Warriors have enough gusto.
I don't believe the Lakers...
I'm a Brandon Pajemski guy. Well, spoiler alert, we're going to get to him in a little bit. But
okay.
Yeah. But I don't think that he's going to affect a title team to that regard.
I fight myself whether... I don't want to say be like Lakers making the Western Conference Finals wasn't legit, but I just never trusted them last year, and I think they played over their heads, and I'm like, congrats, you guys pulled together something crazy good after the trade deadline. I don't know if I buy it for a full season even, is my thing, and that isn't even AD LeBron related. And so if they're both like top of their games, like close to whatever their best seasons, even LeBron not even close to top 5 best seasons, but if he's like 6th best season and AD's like something close to his best season, then yes. But there's just a lot in the supporting cast that I don't trust yet. And that's where every other team, and this is why what's weird about, like, I don't need to trust the Suns' bench players as much that I do the Lakers, because the Lakers, like, had LeBron limping and AD not playing up to his standard. The Warriors, like, if Jonathan Kuminga is preseason Jonathan Kuminga for a full regular season and the playoffs, then maybe I buy it more. But I don't trust Chris Paul being healthy. I don't trust that they're going to lose whatever Jordan Poole's craziness was, that he did give them an offensive punch that they now have to find out of Chris Paul, which I can't. I just don't know if they have offensive punch, which is crazy.
I don't know if the Warriors are a team that people are talking about as being particularly deep, but the Lakers are a team that are talked about like this. Let me run you through their rotation. And yeah, I have been on this podcast and have written in places, said on our air, I thought the Lakers had a great offseason. I loved what they did.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Yeah.
5, D'Lo.
Yeah.
Reeves, LeBron, Vanderbilt, Davis. There's some Taurean Prince, Rui noise out of there that those guys might be starting. I think that's a horrible idea. Jared Vanderbilt's really good at basketball and is perfect as the part of the sandwich that's not the bread between LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Like, just have him there, please. Gabe Vincent, I think, is going to be really, really good for them, but I think they've got I hate to say it this way, but a DeAndre and Chris Paul kind of thing with D'Angelo Russell, where it's like, this doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
This made sense a while ago, but all of a sudden now you guys could win a championship this year. And we've seen it in the playoffs enough now where, again, when he went on the Nets run, I talked about it and it was like, look at D'Lo in the postseason. He's awesome in the postseason, but he's just too inconsistent all over the place, unfortunately. I like Vincent behind him. Are you a Jalen Hood Schifino believer?
No.
Not for year one. Max Christie, you got your stock left?
No.
Have you seen the Cam Reddish lowlights on Twitter? They've been roasting our poor boy.
I completely forgot about him, but no, I am not. Yeah.
Taurean Prince is on this team. That was a good signing, as we said. Rui Hachimura was unreal in the postseason, but he's still kind of Rui Hachimura in those moments.
Do you trust that's the...
Say it.
Like, he has to play above his head. Vanderbilt has to knock threes a little, do things.
He's TJ Warren, and I don't know if people realize it yet. That makes sense?
Yeah.
He's going to have 1 assist, 3 turnovers. He's going to grab rebounds. He's going to score. he's going to be efficient to a certain extent. I don't know if he can shoot. I don't know if you can trust him on defense.
Yeah.
Their backup 5 situation is either Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes, or dark horse Colin Castleton, the rookie center out of Florida, who came up in my draft research. Never talked about him. Suns never needed a 5, but he came up. So I don't know if that team is all that deep, Kevin. And then to go to Golden State really quick, deep in a playoff sense, I should say. Golden State's got Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney. Those are the 6 guys, pretty good 6 guys. After that, Gary Payton II, is he
healthy?
Is he good? If he's good, and he is good. He's good at basketball if he's good. Kuminga, Pajemski, Moses Moody, Corey Joseph. You think Rudy Gay's got something left in the tank?
He's always one of those guys like Jeff Green where there's something in the tank.
Okay. We want to focus on those 2 just because they're the next up in the West, but we'll move on through this yes-no game, but I know what your answers are probably going to be. Cavs?
No.
Grizzlies?
I want to... This is where, like, Grizzlies Pels are in my brain.
On 2K, I say yes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
There's no extracurricular activities afoot? Mavericks?
No.
Clippers?
I have there's like a 10% chance.
So you are saying yes?
I guess.
Okay.
That is absolutely health related.
Amen.
All these others I can't, like, Clippers are the team where I'm like, I have to have the asterisk over health related. Every other team I'm just going to be like yes or no. Yeah. Yes, sir.
We're both Terrence Mann truthers.
Yeah.
I have been the Russell Westbrook truther. We're Kenny Martin Jr. truthers.
Yeah.
Hey, man, if those 2 guys play basketball...
I'm a Ty Lue.
The 2 guys, hey, Ty Lue fans here, hello, checking in.
Here's the thing, you could hold out there.
Spoiler alert for my thing coming up. Is Kobe Brown a contributor right away?